Welcome, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting to order, July 13th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Please all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, do any of the town board members have any conflict of interest regarding any of the items listed on tonight's meeting agenda?
No.
No. No?
No.
Can you speak louder, please? I didn't hear that. Thank you.
Can you hear it back there?
Not very well. Or just move the microphone closer to your mouth.
Then I'll knock my papers out of my way. Catch 22 on this one. All right, there you go. How's that?
Better.
And get it to work. All right, do any of the town board members have any conflict of interest regarding any of the items listed on tonight's meeting agenda?
No.
No. Nope.
Thank you very much. Motion and a second to accept the meeting minutes of June 8th, 26th, and July 6th.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think there was three of them, Al. I think it's July 8th to 26th.
8, 26, and 6. 6, 8, I don't know, they're backwards. Oh, June 8th. This sun is killing me. June 8th, 26th, and July 6th.
And June 26th also. There's three.
I did. 8, 26, and July 6th. There's three. Okay, I may have a motion and a second to add Resolution 7, 13, 14 of 26 to the dais,
So moved.
accepting the 2026 Veteran Micro Grant Program Grant Award. Motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Will the clerk take the roll call vote, please?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prusikowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye. Motion and a second to add Resolution 15 of 26 to the dais regarding stormwater management facility inspection and maintenance easement agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prusikowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye. Try to get this in a better way somewhere. There we go. Okay, may I have a motion and a second to add Resolution 16 of 26 to the dais, rescinding Resolution 2 of 26.
So moved.
Second?
Can I have a question? I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do we know what happened?
Which one is this?
This just rescinding the appointment of a full-time groundskeeper.
Yeah, he didn't show
We
up.
appointed him last.
He didn't show up for work.
He never showed up.
Right, so we're still having ad out.
Okay.
May I have a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prusikowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye. All right, any public comments on resolutions and town business only? Limit time 3 minutes.
Okay.
We'll start.
Yeah,
Oh,
please,
Stephen Cole, oh,
Oh, we're gonna go in, wanna go in order?
sorry, that's why I had a,
Sheet.
Fine. No. I don't think that that's the way we have
the
to.
public comment sheet.
Doesn't have to be in order.
Okay. All right, I'll
It doesn't.
sure.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Oh.
I would like to speak to resolution number 3.
Can you please state your name and
Yes, I'm
address?
sorry. Yes, Carol Pickering, Hudson View Terrace, Hyde Park. the town board is you are being asked to authorize a tax certiorari. And for the public that probably knows, a tax certiorari is a fancy Latin name for a tax reduction. A landowner is asking for a 25% tax reduction of $1.5 million. Now, if you grant this $1.5 million tax cut to one landowner, this is not commercial as I understand it, that means that $1.5 million has to be, that revenue has to be raised and borne by all the other taxpayers. So once again, this is an example, not unlike expanded pilots, where you would be granting big reductions to the wealthy at the expense of the average taxpayer. And I just would like to add a couple of things that I was glad to see the amendment tonight that states it's $1.5 million, but the amendment wasn't available until I arrived tonight. And I think that that is not a very transparent way to do business. And also to add resolutions at the last minute when we walk in the door. I think that there are rules around that, Sarah. You could explain better. I think there's a 72-hour rule that if you add stuff to an agenda, it has to be 72 hours, something like that. At least that's my experience with. So anyway, please consider whether you want to authorize a $1.5 million reduction for one landowner at the expense of all Hyde Park taxpayers. Thank you.
Kyle, you want to?
Yeah, I just want to make sure, but this wasn't added at the day, so when was this? So I just want Sarah to address the,
Yeah.
so the confusion regarding.
And there's no need to clap during the comments. Let's all be professional and courteous, please.
No, it's the tax certiorari matter. It's
No.
number 3.
It was notified 72 hours
Yeah.
ahead of time.
Yeah, that was,
Excuse me?
that was a 72.
So I guess so can we get to the bottom? Why was there? Yeah, what led someone to believe this wasn't on the agenda in advance? Was it not on the agenda?
No, it is. I believe it's.
Yeah, and it's number 3.
Number 3?
It's number
We're talking
three.
about number 3?
What was not
Sarah-
on the agenda was the Schedule A.
Oh,
That's new.
Schedule A.
The Schedule A, which
It's
is
part of the,
behind the resolution.
That's
part of it,
$1.5
That's
million,
part of it, though.
the Schedule A.
No,
I think
it's
that
on.
was
It's
part of
on
the
the back of the.
It is now, yeah.
No, it
that's
wasn't
always
it.
been part of it.
Yeah,
We
that's always
agreed. We
part of it. I'm
discussed this at the
confused.
attorney-client meeting, and this
Yeah.
was all discussed a week ago.
Yeah, it was a while, but.
Yeah.
Well, very good. It's still 30,000 times 50. It's $1.5 million request for a
Yeah,
tax reduction.
so just to, all right, so I'll address a bit of it, and then obviously the board's decision as to how they want to handle the resolution. So, first of all, tax certiorari, it is a Latin term. It does not mean,
Oh, sorry, that was,
it doesn't mean reduction, though. It doesn't, that's not what it means. What it means is when someone challenges the assessment on their property, it's called a certiorari. It's goes back from the Latin phrase of writ of certiorari, which is basically simply a challenge. It doesn't mean, reduction, or necessarily that's the case. What happens is in many towns, and I do these actually quite a bit in Dutchess and Ulster County, throughout many municipalities, it's very common for people to file what's called Article 7 proceedings under the real property tax law, which is what's the actual acronym for the tax certiorari. And basically what someone is saying is that the assessment of their property is higher as a percentage of the equalization rate of fair market value. The equalization rate in the town of Hyde Park is actually rather low because there hasn't been a reval done in quite some time, so it's somewhere in the neighborhood of like 32%, I think, around that area. So, so when you're looking at it, it's the assessment, what one's assessment doesn't translate ever into fair market value because it's always a percentage of the fair market value. And when someone makes a challenge, they're making an allegation that that assessment equalized is higher than what the fair market value of that property would be. When someone does that, they then bring forward, analysis or some type of demonstration as to what the actual fair market value of the subject properties are. And then the town reviews that analysis and makes a determination along with the assessor. It's mostly the assessor that steps in at that particular point in time because that's the person who's the expert in valuations. Makes a determination as to what the fair market value of the property should be. And if it does appear that there's an overassessment, then that can result in a negotiated settlement of a reduction, or if it's even close. Because No worries. So, or if it's even close, because obviously, if it gets litigated, litigation's expensive, there's always the risk of loss, and if you can't support the assessment, then you have to come up with some sort of a resolution to protect the taxpayer. If, and it does happen in many cases, where someone brings a challenge, an Article 7 proceeding challenge, and the analysis indicates that the property is fairly assessed, then we defend. And if we need to, we got to go to trial, we'll go to trial, we'll do whatever we have to do. You know, you have to also get an appraiser to actually do their own appraisal of the property. With commercial properties or a lot of residential properties like this, trial-ready appraisals are actually rather expensive. So litigation costs in these types of matters can easily start approaching $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, depending upon how complex the matter is. So you want to be very careful when you're actually going to go to trial on these matters, because that could be a big outlay of cash for the taxpayer. And then also, of course, if there's the risk of loss, you have the privilege of paying for the litigation. Plus also now, if there's an overage, you have to pay a refund of what the actual taxes would be. So in many cases, you have to make that analysis to make a determination as to what the settlement is. Now, here's the thing that's important. When someone says, oh, it's a reduction of $1.3 million in taxes, and that sounds crazy, right? But that's not really what it is. It's the actual assessment that's being reduced, not the person's tax liability. So when you reduce an assessment, and in this case it's only $30,000 per unit, that's not a $30,000 reduction in taxes. It's the mill rate, the percentage that goes against what that particular reduction is. And in many of these cases, and I believe this is also one of them, when we negotiate, if we come to some sort of an understanding of what the true valuation should be, a lot of times as part of the negotiation process, you're reducing the prior year's assessment. And so what I try to do when I negotiate these, if there's an overassessment, is also negotiate a waiver of whatever refund. So in resolving this case, the taxpayer isn't paying a refund on what the overassessment was for the last year. So then otherwise the town would have to do that, and obviously that would be another expense to the taxpayer. So yeah, each one of these, they have to be carefully reviewed by the assessor. The assessor makes a determination as to what fair market value is, and based upon that, we then operate accordingly. If we think it's supported, we'll go to trial, we'll go to court. If it can't be supported, we try to come up with the best possible resolution for each in each particular case, and that's exactly what happened here.
Can we respond to that?
You can?
Yeah, come on up and just please state your name and address, please.
Tish Lang, 6 Kelly Circle.
I think you, hello? Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
I think you just proved my point. You went on and on and on, with your legal background. How does the local resident understand what that's all about? And
Yeah, want me to answer that one first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, there's a couple ways you can do it. I mean, obviously there's a wide breadth of online research. The State Department of Taxation and Finance has a website, and they do a really awesome job of explaining how tax challenges work in Article 7 proceedings, and even what's called small claims assessment reviews, which is what individual homeowners sometimes use to challenge the assessment on their property.
is this on the town's website?
It's on the state.
I'll
of
be
New York.
honest with you, a lot of this, I went to the website, I couldn't find half of this.
No, ma'am, you wouldn't find it there. You would go to the State Department of Taxation and Finance, and they actually have books.
Do you honestly think that's what they're going to do, a resident, go to the?
You asked how to make it happen, that's how you do it.
What I need the board to do, and the town supervisor, put it into layman terms so people from our town can understand what's going on. That's all I ask of you. What the proposals are, what the grants are, who's bidding on it, why are they bidding, that's all I want you to do. That's all I want you to do.
You can clap.
You're looking at $1,500 per unit too, by the
Let
way.
them clap first, let them clap.
Yeah, $1,500. And we've seen hundreds of people come in here, homeowners, doing the same exact thing when they want to dispute the taxes. It's allowed, they dispute them, and they do it. That's all. You're going from a $450,000 assessed value per unit. But since we're on 50% reduction, you're going from 240, and then he's asking for a reduction. Okay? So there's still a lot of taxes going to be paid here. A lot more than if we end up fighting, because I've seen them where they fight them for 3 years, and sometimes we lose. We end up paying all, like you said, their attorney fees. We pay the back taxes. We pay the interest on it. That's not something you want to do if you really know what you're doing. You can clap, you can yell, you can scream, but that's not how it works.
We just want transparency.
It is transparent, very much so. New York State says it is, and we are transparent. Oh, you could shake your head no all you want. How'd you do?
Have-
What's that?
You're back on your public.
Yep. I have Stephen. Oh, well, yeah, I have Stephen Coleman.
Hello, my name is Stephen Coleman. I live on Mulford Avenue in Statsburg. As I serve as a trustee on the Statsburg Library, I'm particularly mindful of the importance of procurement policies and the rules regarding the spending of public money. I therefore have questions related to Resolutions 4 and 6 on the agenda tonight. Resolution 4 is about changes to the town's procurement policy and refers to a Schedule A. There is no Schedule A. However, perhaps we are meant to take the procurement policy as Schedule A. On page 6 of the policy, there are several lines in red. Are these supposed to be the changes that the town board is voting to approve? And if so, are these the only changes that are being made to the policy? I'd appreciate that clarification. And Resolution 6 is related to Resolution 4 in that it is an example of procurement and the spending of $52,000 of public funds. My question is there documentation to prove that the procurement policy was followed in this instance? Did the town receive bids from multiple vendors as required for purchases over $20,000? If not, it does not appear that the town board is authorized to make this purchase. Thank you.
Chief, you can answer that one. I know the answer, but you could do it. Maybe he won't question you and they won't applaud.
Good evening, Chief of Police, Town of Hyde Park. 31 years serving for this community. So I did solicit mini bids through the New York State Vehicle Marketplace, and that vehicle came in the lowest price out of Saugerty. So as per the procurement policy, I submitted mini bid, went out to all the vendors, and it came back as the lowest bid. That's for my vehicle. I can't answer to the other question, but
You have documentation?
absolutely, sir. Yeah, so that's how I purchase all the vehicles, out through the mini bid, through the New York State Vehicle Marketplace. So I've met New York State procurement policy as well as the towns.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. You want to address the other one?
The other one, yeah, the red line is on that other resolution is to indicate precisely what the changes were, and those are all the changes.
Thank you.
Of course.
As you can see, if you read it, it's tightening up the ability.
Yeah. So.
It's making it more tighter for people to just go out and spend money without board approval. Next.
I'm going to get the sun, see?
Sarah, next on the list?
Yes. Sorry, I was answering a question.
Well, I don't want people to...
Megan Carroll.
Hi, I'm Megan Carroll. I am a resident of Statsburg on Hughes Avenue. I work in the nonprofit sector, and as such, I'm very keenly focused on spend. But I believe the Chief of Police answered the question, because my concern is also around a fair, competitive bid situation that is transparent to all, so that there is no favoritism. And so, sir, you said that the bids are available on the website. Can we see those bids?
I can provide them to you. They're not on the website. They were provided to me. They should be part of that resolution.
Yeah,
Is there documentation showing us, or are they stated in anywhere in the record?
What I submitted to the town for the resolution was the other bids. Well, what I sent to them.
So gentlemen, you do have, and we could see, we could know
Absolutely.
what those values
What-
are.
all
Where
you-
would we see that?
Well, I don't know. I'll leave that to Sarah.
FOIL request.
Pardon me?
Yeah.
You can,
So what you would do if for any, and this is true for folks out there, and this is an important right that you folks have, you have what's called the Freedom of Information Law in the state of New York. It's pursuant to Public Officers Law, sections 82 and 89. And also on the town's website, I believe there's a form, there's an application you can make. So in something like this, for any documentation, feel free to complete that, and the town will have to respond with whatever documents are non-privileged and publicly available.
And will the town move ahead with the $20,000 Sawyer vehicle before the other information is available to us?
It should be available as soon as you make the FOIL request, right, Sarah?
that's correct. We do have FOIL request forms at the town clerk's office. You can also do it on email. That is FOI@hydeparkny.gov, as well as on the website, there is a form.
Great, thank you very much.
No problem, yeah. We have Cliff Perkins. Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
Cliff, you're getting 3 minutes, so make your point.
Hal, meet the cola. Hello, my friends. Lately, we have just spent time honoring our vets, those that have served, those that are serving, and those that served or gave all. It brought to memory one of my uncles. He served on an LST, which is a landing ship for tanks, at Omaha Beach. The name of that is the Henlow Pen. Today, that ship is a ferry from New London, Connecticut to Long Island. That was a major jump-off spot for all our WW2. That almost half of Long Island was that in the Connecticut area. It was all under that influence. Okay. Lately, I was approached by a person, and that person asked me, how do I view the board? You're my friends and neighbors. I have a good mix. I have generationals, long-timers, and I don't know if we have any newbies. That's anybody that's been here 10 years or less. But the mix is good. You pay attention. The most important thing this board does is it listens. You have to compare all this. We've had great examples this evening, and I'm glad that these people were brought up so the board could demonstrate its ability to the community. I wish more people would come and observe this. They would have a little more confidence in the people that are dealing with them and understanding. You've been open, honest, and upfront. Now, and you've taken action. And one of those issues is with the cigarette butts. This is important to me. I think it's important to everybody when you get down and take a look at the effects of these. There's been great response. I'd like to give a special shout out to Stone Age. I hardly ever find one there now today. And then CVS. CVS cleaned up the front of that store. The parking lot needs assistance, but the front of that store, it looks as if someone's there daily. It went from a pile to nothing. And then our stewards up here, they've done a wonderful job. Now we get down, I spoke to Mike at the parks concerning what they do. Pine Woods is an exceptional. River Park needs some assistance, but I see you're stepping up to the plate to be able to get that going. Every time people see me down there picking up, they thank me. And I see other people doing a little bit here and there. That's fine. I love that. That shows this community has great pride in itself because the majority of this community is very good. All our nice little affordable communities are fairly clean. I hardly ever. It is the commercial spots with the parking lots. So in that, And let's see here. And I want to thank you for everything that you've done here. And we hope to see you soon.
Thank you, Cliff.
Have a nice evening.
Thank you, Cliff.
All right.
We have Russell Urban Mead.
Why there's so many mics here. Good evening, I'm Russell Urban Mead. Live on Mills Cross Road since 1988. For those of you who don't know, I'm running for supervisor. Figured I'd just get that out of the way. I think the message that I'm looking at this evening is that we're just stronger together. I'm appreciating that people came out today. I do have a couple quick comments on resolutions 10 and 11. Not so much the resolutions, but the philosophy behind them. A month ago, Councilmember Donnelly suggested that it would be important to get the board together to think about what the priority topics should be for grant applications. Towns live and die on grants these days. And I haven't seen a workshop. I haven't heard about a workshop. These are two interesting little grant applications going in for speeding and supplemental for comp plan, but you know, we're not asking for big ticket items here. We're not swinging for the fences, and that would really help any of us who are in office next year, right? I mean, we should be swinging for the fences and looking for some real ambitious grant topics here, and they should be publicly discussed, and they should be listened to by those in the public. So that's kind of my highlight comment. I'm just going to comment really briefly on the last couple comments. Resolution 4 would have been clarified in a cleaner resolution if it indicated that the red line text is what the changes were. There wouldn't have been questions about it if it was a better written resolution. Resolution 6 would have been a stronger resolution if it simply said that the procurement policy had been followed, as the police chief has pointed out. Resolution 3 would have been stronger if the promised consent judgment had been attached, not just the summary. So there are just ways in which some of these resolutions are written in ways that confuse the public, and we can do better work together if they are cleaner. There are many good considerations. I'm hoping there's going to be good discussion today so that we do what's best for Hyde Park taxpayers and residents. If we work in that manner, you know, we are stronger together, and we can have a great Hyde Park. So thank you very much.
I just want to address a couple of things for Urban, Russell. The Millennium Strategies, prior to our administration coming in, when our administration came in a few years back, we hired Millennium Strategies as our grant writer. Al and the town board members are invited, and even Pete Sotero and a lot of people get on. We have Zoom meetings regularly to discuss all our grants. Basically, we have an agreement with every department. If you see something, the list is distributed to everybody. If you see something that catches your eye, you know, send an email to Cecilia so that we can talk to Millennium Strategies about possibly applying for the grant. I'll tell you, since we put Millennium Strategies on board, we got millions of dollars. We got an $800,000 pool grant. We got road reconstruction. We got sidewalk money. We got our parks rebuilt. They're doing a phenomenal job. Unfortunately, there is so much stuff that comes out, but there is so tight deadlines for grants. On the 11th hour, we're scrambling. The grant came out this week, and it says, put your application in. It's due within 2 weeks with all your documentation, all your estimates, all your professional engineers' opinions, everything. In a perfect world, yeah, I wish we had the opportunity to do a lot of this, but a lot of our board members that are familiar with what's going on don't have the time to help us out with that, and we're such short-staffed with the manpower. We just pick what ones that everybody wants, we gather the information and put it together to hopefully we can get that grant. So we're doing the best we can with what we got to work with, and I think Millennium Strategies has proven a great success to the town of Hyde Park, and we'll keep plugging away and hopefully keep everybody happy.
And you could ask Mark, Greg's getting involved more, Paul's been on the calls. They're all on the calls. We get monthly updates on what we're looking for. Mark had come up with an issue that he would like to get some speed issues done, speed mechanical devices put up into Statsburg area. Just happens we were on a monthly call.
Yep.
And they came up with a grant, but it didn't specifically say that. So Mark says, hey, can we use this to try to obtain these speed devices? And he says, yes, that can be done. So we pushed them off the DOT because it would have been more difficult to deal with the DOT, we all know that. So we pushed them off. But the grants, we're applying for them. Sometimes they come in, sometimes we miss them the 1 year, we go back to second year. Now, we don't want to say, hey, look at all the grants we're going for, because we're going for quite a few. I can maybe put them, if I put them monthly on the website, that would be very confusing, because then you'd try to go, what's the grant about? You know, and there's a lot of minutia that goes through it. But some of them say one thing, and you can ask a simple question, and then they go, oh, yes, you could, we'll apply for that reason. And that's what we do. But we do that monthly. I think this Thursday's the next monthly meeting.
16th.
All right, and the whole board is involved with it. Even, Paul breaks out of, some classes and gets involved when he can. If not, he gets the monthly updates. Everyone here on this board gets it. It's an expedient way for us to go where we got to go. And they all send in, requests for, hey, can we look for something like this? I mean, we're out to get new safety grants from the county. I think we're going to get those to redo some of the roads, and also for new signages throughout the whole town. But there's a lot involved, and we've gotten multi-million dollars from Millennium since we've been using those. Instead of having somebody work for us, they cost $36,000 a year. That's it. The first year, I think we got $1.1 million. Okay, so the return on that investment has been proven to be good. It's the follow-ups that Pete, before he leaves, is supposed to give me a list of follow-up advices, because he's always helped us with the follow-ups. So, if that helps you there. What was the other thing you asked about? I'd like to answer all. Other than you're running against me. What's that? You can say whatever. You're allowed to say, Tish, whatever you want. Unless it's vulgar.
Come up to the microphone, I'm sorry. No, I just want to make sure for the TV.
You don't have to redo your name.
This is great news about all the grants that are out there that you're applying for, but
Right.
I didn't know about them.
We got to get you to volunteer.
Yeah, put it out there for us to see. Let us, put it out there. We don't know what you're doing. Well, at least I don't know what you're doing.
We're following the right rules. We're performing what we're supposed to perform. We're
Give it-
following up how we're supposed to follow. When the grants do get, awarded, then we make everyone known. Then it's got to come to us to accept it.
Feel
Like
free
we're
to
doing a couple.
contact me. I do a lot on social media. I will put it out there for you to let residents know what you guys are involved in.
Okay.
And in layman terms, no legal governmental terms. We want to be able to understand. And we want to know who the bidders are.
Well, stick around for a workshop we're going to have tonight, and you can find out why we're tightening up on these bids.
So let me just go back to the flooding, because
With your highway.
That's really important for me in my ward. So we had a meeting last month about the Falk Hill flooding with our consultants, and there was a lot of different possible solutions, right? And my understanding is that we're not using the CFA funding, we're doing the Resilient Watershed Grant. Is that?
Yes.
All right. But the deadline was in end of June 26th. Is that correct, Sue?
For what? For what?
July.
July? The deadline for the grant, to submit the application for the grant.
For the second phase of the grant? What grant are you talking about?
I'm talking about the Resilient Watershed Grant.
The first?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I don't.
Hi, good evening. Pete Sotero,
Hey, Pete.
engineer for the town.
Microphone on.
Oh, they're yelling at you too. That's good. It's not just me.
It's on, Pete, you just gotta
I
hold it
feel
close.
better, Pete.
All right, how's that? There you go.
mine working? No, there it goes.
So, Paul, as we had talked about, the first grant, this current grant that we got is the planning grant part of it. This, I believe, I'm positive the one you're referring to is implementation money, construction money. We're not at that point yet. We have to finish this first grant that we have, and then depending on options we choose to mitigate, the flood, then once the first part of the grant is done, we'd have the opportunity to apply for implementation funds. So we're not, as long as I'm understanding, I'm positive that what
Yes.
you're referring to is the implementation money.
The design section.
Wasn't there a written report that has to be given to us?
Yeah, they're
with-
developing
This
that
is the
now.
prerequisite to be able to apply for that.
But
So
there's a written
that's what we're
report coming
following.
out that we need,
The first phase isn't complete yet.
that's correct.
That's
So we
right.
can't apply for the second phase
got
until the
good.
first phase is complete. Correct?
All right, the second thing, I want to say this again, it would be nice if there was a workshop, we could all sit down
Yeah. That's fine, that's fine.
and hash out where we want to go.
With grants?
With the possible mitigation procedures.
Well, that's up like
Well,
to
we
you
don't,
guys.
we don't have the final report. We have to get the conclusion of the final
That should be coming
report.
soon, though.
Yeah, well,
It
yeah,
should.
once we
My
get that,
understanding should be almost done with it.
once we get the final conclusion and everybody has a chance to read that document, that will give us the direction of the path that the professionals are recommending that we take. Without that document, we're wasting our time.
That meeting we had, it was just a preliminary, this is where we're
It was
at
an
so
update.
far.
No, I know, I
We're
get
gonna
that.
get there.
No, I understand that.
Okay.
I'm saying workshop would be, in the future, would be something that we
For
could.
We had a
that-
workshop.
For that particular grant, or just any grants?
Well, any grant, but that particular one specifically, yes.
Are you saying to discuss, sorry, this is very bright. Are you saying to discuss the findings of of the initial part of phase one of the grant?
Yeah.
That's been done here already. And then we had to have it at the fire department because.
No, but the actual written document is not provided.
No, the document's not, but every update has been
Well,
done.
I mean, if you want to have a workshop on it, that's up to, like the board, I mean, to update, the public. I mean, we've had a couple workshop meetings over at the
Right.
firehouse for, the people that are in the
Pertaining to that
affected
ward.
area.
Yeah.
But whatever, I mean, look, if you want to have a workshop to go over the, report, that's really up to you guys. You guys can do it if you want. And let me just add, I'm sorry, let me just add something as far as, the grants go, and I've obviously been here, a long time. Hiring Millennium was one of the best things that the town, has done. And I've told many like people this, that I've served, for former like boards. And I think the process works well. Like Al said, we have a monthly, meeting. They're always constantly sending us, hey, there's this potential opportunity, and it goes around. Either the police chief, recreation, me, and then we have a monthly meeting. They provide the information ahead of time. They give us a monthly report as to grants that we received, grants that are in progress, and then, potential that we want to apply for. So, and there's been more, interaction. I think Paul may have been on a meeting. I know that Mark was on one. I don't remember, if Greg was on one. But, Don's been on them. So there's a lot of participation by, the board members, other than just Al and I and some of, the department heads. But it's really been working out well, and we've gotten a lot of money. In fact, we just got another one for $112,000 to renovate the bathrooms at Hackett. And I think there's a minimal match for that. It was minimal, so
Right, that was minor. But now we get the pool and that done. That was
But again,
the
these
main
are
goal.
internal decisions, and I don't mean to be rude, but it's not necessarily a public. It's the board members and the department heads. That's, I mean, we got to keep things like moving because there's time frames. We don't have a lot of time to, you know, like apply for these like grants. So anyways, that's just what I wanted to say.
Thank you very much, Pete.
Thanks, Pete.
So we have Beth Culp.
Good evening. Beth Culp, 32 Hudson Drive. And I would like to make 2 requests to the board regarding resolution number 12 about the Elbow Creek development.
That's going to be tabled.
It is?
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's my first request.
Then you got it before you asked for it. How's that? Don't tell me we're not on our game.
My work here is done. Thank you very much.
Well, you clap for that one.
Fastest resolution ever.
Who you got next?
All right, we have Deborah Seidman, sorry, I'm sorry.
Hi. My name is Deborah Seidman. I'm in Statsburg, and I'm sort of, not to beat a dead horse, but to talk about the resolutions as far as having it being more publicly aware. I understand this. Can you hear me? No. Oh, sorry. I'm not a jazz singer or anything, so I'm not used to mics. Just as far as the resolutions are concerned, I understand what you're saying, and it sounds like, you know, they're coming fast and furious, but I'm wondering, there are things that people probably want, don't know they're being, what is coming down. Now, there's some things that people care about, but they don't care about. But there are things that people do, and is there a way we can have more transparency, or there can be the 1 in 5 things that are workshop that people can consider and say that they want and discuss as far as transparency, as far as the community. You know, I mean, I understand that's going to be extra labor.
It's not extra labor. That's not the point.
What's the
point? The problem is sometimes we get them on Tuesday. They'll start coming in. The requests, even though we put out that we want them a week ahead of time, they come in, what is it, sometimes 2 days before to 72 hours.
Each department has a
And that's why we're adding
deadline,
some
but
at the
they-
day, it's because they came in that late. So it's not like we could say, hey, these are coming, or this is what's going to be here, unless we do it like the Wednesday when we get it, but we always meet the 72 hour. Very rare do we have them that far ahead of time. And even though we request, you know what happens.
I'm just trying to find an answer so that it's like the people behind me, of which I'm a part, can feel like we're more involved versus, I understand your situation. You're it's the rock and a hard place situation.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to figure out how can we have something that can be more equitable for people to be able to say, hey, I want this, or where is this going, or how can we have that? And
Is there a world, sorry, I can't see, but is there a world where we take the grants, what's it called, the grant opportunities that are recommended, post them on the website, and then if anyone's interested.
Put that monthly up there, yeah.
Yeah.
But you
Well, she's
also,
talking about other
she's talking
stuff
more about the
besides the grant.
resolutions. You know,
Right.
sometimes you get them two days before, and you just have it, or the day before, and we have the same problem. You're looking at them, reading them. I see them, we keep going, do we have any resolutions? No, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, we get hit with it.
we get hit with them. They come from all the other departments, and no matter how much time we tell them, they're supposed to be there 10 days before our meeting, and they come in.
so that's a promise Millennium says they're supposed to bring.
No,
it
that's
in.
grants and
That's just
resolutions.
grants, the government is saying that it should come in 10 days before.
We
but they're-
say we'd like to see the resolutions, whatever's going to be a resolution, to get here 10 days prior. But sometimes the departments come up with a resolution prior to, they fill it out, and like, you know, because it came to them at the last minute.
Is it always like that with everyone, or is it?
It's been like that for 5 years, and probably before, too.
Been like that for 30 years.
Yeah.
There's
I mean,
always, there's
but
always
it's-
things added at.
The only thing, well, that's true. I mean, what I will say this, though, what's really good is what you're doing now is that's what this public comment period's for, is to come here and then ask the kind of questions you're asking. It's really refreshing from, at least from an attorney's point of view, like this question we had with the tax certiorari. I mean, rarely.
You were just dying to answer
Yeah,
that
I know.
question.
Could you tell? I could have gone on for another hour if you like, but it's because it's just super rare that people even show up to the meetings and ask kind of questions that you asked or that gentleman asked over there. You know, I mean, and that's what this is all about, because we do get these resolutions at the last minute. And Cecilia, with some of the resolutions, you know, the secretary, she tries to help out and do the best she can, you know, with trying to get them prepared in such short notice as well. But that's what I would recommend to someone like yourself. I mean,
Okay, we'll keep showing up.
absolutely.
That's better.
There you go.
That would be great, because another good factor is that I know it's election year, but prior to this,
Nobody comes.
Nobody ever comes. Nobody ever speaks. So the more people that can come and give us their input and work with us and see what we got going on and be willing to help, it only makes things better.
Yeah, listen, that's what we do all day long. We get a phone call or somebody gets a notice in their ward, like with the cigarette butts. We did jump on it, especially at CVS. That's where my office is, so it's very easy to get that one done. But John went down. We sent Parks and Recs to clean up the other area because, you know, we know Cliff comes in, and that's his big thing. And when they get calls, they ask us. I show up, right? I said, you know, there was a septic issue on a woman's house. She contacted Greg. Greg texted me, and I said, oh, you want to go tonight? All right, and then he goes, oh, I can meet you after 4. Well, you know, because the time frame thing and I said, let's bring John over there. So it's the same day we do that. I mean, we're not telling everybody what we do every time we do it. We could go around and take pictures of it, you know, if you want, but that's what we do, is we do respond. I've responded to people that call here, and they forget what they called me for. That's happened a lot. Well, I didn't think you were going to call me.
And we really got to thank.
I give them my personal cell.
We really got to thank our each department, our building and zoning. Listen, we're all, I don't know if everybody knows, but if you come here, you know, Tad, everybody's overworked, overwhelmed. We do have a shortage. You know, we're trying to do the right thing and manage the money properly, and everybody's got their hands full. So we're doing the best we can with what we got to work with. That's all I can say.
Can I make a comment on the
Sure, come on up.
Thank you.
Sure.
Just state your name and address.
Great, thank you.
I think you already did, didn't he?
Yeah, but
My name is Jim Toole, and I'm a resident of Statsburg at 3 Hughes Avenue. I think it's wonderful to hear the information about Millennium. It sounds like there's a lot of money that's been obtained and actions that have been taken, and it sounds wonderful. I also appreciate that everybody's very busy and perhaps understaffed. To that end, it would be interesting to understand what's on the agenda for Millennium, and I realize that's a moving target.
Do you got that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that
You wanna
looks
read?
useful.
He could read a quick one off.
Yeah, I mean, I could go through the what we have coming up.
Why don't you just
Or
put it up there on the site?
put it up there on the site would be probably better.
Yeah, because
that would be very helpful.
those are actual, it doesn't give that whole explanation part.
No, I didn't.
That you got to read between the lines and find out what the state's offering or what they're offering. Because, you know, it says, oh, this is the grant, and then that's what we're going for, X amount of dollars. That's what it says on that. But then we go through the whole grant and what it can and cannot be used for. Is it a value? And then what's the match?
Yeah.
We don't like 50% matches. No match I go after every time, I don't care what it is. All right? We try to stay within the 20% or in-kind matches.
I see.
Which is the way you should think, you know.
Well, we could post that. I mean, as for the general, to start, let's post that and.
Post what we're going after at that time.
Huh?
Post what we're going to.
Yeah.
But you got to post the grant with it.
Yeah.
We could do that.
That would be helpful.
All right, Trish, I expect you here at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning to start that process.
Thanks.
Volunteer.
Trish will be here, but Tish won't be.
Oh, I'm sorry, Tish. I'm sorry.
Oh, Tish.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's helpful. What the other part that I'm not quite understanding is, I'm sure that grants have lots of revisions, and you commented it's been this way for 30 years. I would imagine that there's a lot of process leading up to that point, and so these grants must take some time to develop. And so is there the capacity, and I realize we've hired Millennium to do this work for us, but there's a lot of able bodies within the community, I imagine, that would be interested in seeing, hey, maybe we can get some money for, call it a dog park or something like
Well,
that. Yeah.
you mean making suggestions of what you'd like us to go after?
Understanding the process of what Millennium things are coming up, and so I think.
Oh, no,
we've
sometimes
already-
we're asking them to go for, so if you guys say, hey, we'd like to get this over here, we'll
Yeah.
look for it. But only so many park grants we could get per year, right?
I'm using that as a rough
Well, I
example,
know,
but.
because
yeah.
we definitely want a dog park, too.
Good, good. All right.
And
But
you
nobody
can always
wants it
reach
in
out
their
to-
neighborhood.
You can always reach out to your council person. I mean, the simplest path for that, for the people that are involved, and you want something specific in your ward, reach out to your council person and have that conversation, which would be a lengthy conversation, and then they could bring it back to the rest of the board members to talk about.
Or there's that. There's also the commission. So there's the rec commission. If you want to bring up to the rec commission, there's the CAC, the Climate Smart Committee. If there's any like climate smart grants out there that you want to go for, I'm sure that they would be happy to bring them up. Right, Steve? I think Lynn's here too, right, Lynn?
Yeah, we're going after one for trees.
Great. Okay.
So yeah, but definitely reach out. If there's a grant and you have an idea for it, I'd bring it up.
Good. Thank you all.
Just to
Thank
clarify, I'm pretty sure Pete's comments about it's been this way for 30 years was about amendments being added
Oh,
last
I
minute.
understand.
Resolutions being added last minute, not about
Grants.
grants.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
Anybody else?
No, but we have.
What else you got, Sarah?
All right. So, in terms of in-person, I went through my list. However, I did receive some public comments. One is from.
All right, just hold on one second. So
Go
is
ahead.
there anybody else in the audience that would like to come up and comment that didn't sign? No, not you, John. Come on,
Oh, fair.
come on
yes,
up.
Absolutely.
I got a sink in my seat here.
I'm not going to talk about what I usually do.
Okay.
John Shaleppi, One River Road, Hyde Park. I just wanted to say I thought that this meeting was very good, and of course it's also because we've got so many people. But for the audience that listens on television, one thing that I want to make a suggestion for ongoing would be for each resolution to be described in a paragraph by verbally, orally, so that everyone knows what's happening. And it doesn't have to be every resolution. We understand what somebody is resigning, somebody's getting an award, but for the things that are important so that we know what's being discussed. You know and I know that up until this point, it's almost always one person reads, one person one person proposes, one person seconds, and then all in favor, etc.
So you want to read the whereases?
Yeah, not all the whereases, a short summary. This is what this is about, so that the people who are home, they really can't raise their hands.
You want a brief synopsis.
Exactly.
But you'd have to use the whereases, so you stay within the actual.
I don't want to take up more of your time. Thank you for it.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Anybody else out in the audience?
Somebody who wants to be ambitious is make the.
Sure, come up, just state your name and address, please. Thank you.
I'm Elaine O'Grady. I live at 4 Richard Road in Hyde Park, and I'm in Ward 3. And I appreciate what you said about me working with Paul on certain things, but I think it's helpful for, I'm new, I grew up in Hyde Park, but I'm new trying to get involved because I want to know what's going on. I want to help as much as I can. But, there's some things like in the Roosevelt Road area, I keep hearing from all of the people who live there, the road is really bad. I talked to you briefly after the last meeting, maybe wanting a park in Ward 3, or there's so many young families in our neighborhood now, those types of things. And I think even though I could talk to Paul, if there's a forum or a way to have
us hear more about what's happening in our specific areas, but not just from Paul specifically, but from the whole board. I think that would be really helpful. So I am going to try to come more often because I am curious, and I think you had mentioned something about the bathrooms at Hackett Hill. That's exciting to me, you know, like, I mean, I know that sounds like not a lot of people would be happy about that, but that's really awesome. And so the more we know of all the positive things that are happening, and again, I'm more on the social media, like it'd be great to be able to put things out there, but even like Mark said, on the website, I think that's fabulous, just because people are curious and people make things up. You know what I mean? Like people just kind of say, oh, did you hear this is happening? I think that helps to validate what's truly happening and trying to get more people just to work together and getting things accomplished. But, you know, I think, again, where do I go to talk more about, you know, besides Paul, if he hears every time he's in our ward about the Roosevelt Road being really, really bad, you know, how else can we make a change or, you know, get involved? So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I just want to jump in really quickly. So I've been on the board for 6 months, as has Councilman Donnelly, and this is the first meeting that I've been a board member where we've had so much community involvement. And I think I want to make sure that the people that are listening, because I do get emails occasionally from people that want to attend or can't attend but are listening in either on live TV or they watch the recording, the more community involvement we have, the better, right? It gives all of us an opportunity to help serve our community regardless of, you know, how we're trying to approach it. It's always nice to have people be here. It's a very demoralizing experience to go through the town board meeting to an empty audience. So it's nice to have people that show up and take the time and want to really be involved and be part of the community.
Anyone else out in the audience like to speak?
Very good. I liked it.
Okay. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I've received some public comments. We had one via email that was around July 6th from Jason Christina Volpe, and I'm going to read it into the record. Good afternoon. This message is due to the storm that came through Hyde Park and unfortunately caused mass destruction in many people's homes' yards, and otherwise to those of us who have trees taken down or sheds down or roofs. There has been some sort of consideration as far as these fees are concerned. A $200 and some odd fee for a pool to be taken down by the homeowner should not be allowed for those of us who have to take trees down. And off of our private property, we should be able to do so without an additional fee. Please consider that for those of us who didn't expect this storm and those of us who are trying to do this on our own without hiring outside people. Thank you.
So for that situation, that specific situation there, a lady called, and when the storm hit, of course, a tree snapped, demolished her pool. We didn't have all the information of how she was going to actually take the pool down. I talked to her in length. We do have a demo permit that applies to the pool, and the reason that we do it is more for safety purposes, which I explained to her. Not only do we want the pool down, usually there's an electrical outlet close proximity to where the filter is in the pool, and we would want a licensed electrician or somebody that knows electric to disconnect the electric properly so somebody doesn't get electrocuted down the road. I explained everything to that lady and basically told her to go ahead to the building department and talk to Rick, and we did take care of it and worked with her. But unfortunately, there are fees because we do have our town employees that have to go out and inspect and verify before we sign off and put it into the computer, so that when somebody sells their house, we don't get these people coming in yelling and screaming that they don't have a CO for this or this record is not proper. We're trying to upgrade all our records and we're trying to do things properly. So unfortunately, there's a fee affiliated with that.
John, did they use their insurance?
No, they just wanted to take it down herself and and clean it up, so.
It's covered on the homeowners.
Yeah, well,
The whole thing would be.
we do get these people that send in letters and complaints all the time, and we do address them on an individual basis, and we're trying to do the best we can.
This letter was received today. This is from Jennifer Kempner of 33 Barn Road. Dear members of the Hyde Park Town Board, I am writing as one of your constituents to respectfully ask you to consider supporting legislation or local ordinances that establish and enforce reasonable curfews for consumer fireworks on and around Independence Day. First, I want to say that I deeply appreciate the importance of celebrating our nation's independence. Fireworks are a cherished tradition for many families, and I am not asking that they be banned. Rather, I am asking that we find a thoughtful balance between celebrating our freedoms and protecting the health, safety, and well-being of our neighbors. Many people are significantly affected by prolonged fireworks that continue late into the night, including veterans living with post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, autistic children, and adults with sensory sensitivities, individuals with neurological conditions and other disabilities, families with young children, shift workers, older adults, pets, and wildlife. For me, this issue is deeply personal. I live with hemiplegic migraine, a rare neurological condition. Loud, repetitive explosions can trigger severe migraine attacks that may include temporary paralysis and other debilitating neurological symptoms. Although the fireworks may last only one evening, the effects on my health do not. A single night of prolonged fireworks has left me struggling for weeks to recover, and last year it took nearly a month before I returned to my baseline level of functioning. I recognize that my experience is personal, but I also know I am not alone. Across New York, many individuals with chronic illnesses, neurological disorders, sensory sensitivities, and other disabilities spend Independence Day trying to protect their health rather than enjoying time with family and friends. Reasonable fireworks curfews would allow families to celebrate while reducing unnecessary hardship for many members of our community. Stronger enforcement of existing ordinances and greater public awareness about considerate celebration could help preserve this treasured holiday while respecting the needs of others. This request is not about limiting freedom. It is about encouraging responsibility, compassion, and respect for our neighbors. I believe we can honor our nation's independence while also protecting those who are most vulnerable to the effects of prolonged late-night fireworks. I respectfully ask you to consider supporting legislation or local policies that establish reasonable hours for consumers' fireworks and ensure those hours are consistently enforced. Even small changes could make a meaningful difference for countless New Yorkers. Thank you for your time, your service to our community, and your thoughtful consideration of this request. I sincerely appreciate your commitment to serving all members of the community. Jennifer Kempner.
Well written.
So Jennifer also called us before she sent that letter in, and I told her, of course, if it got to Sarah, that we would read it in the record, and I wanted to read it out loud to have the board members possibly, you all got a copy of that letter. Give it some thought, and I think down the road in the next month or so, I would like to see if you guys would want to have a little workshop and bring, out to the public and get people's thoughts and ideas. Maybe it's time for us to look at our noise ordinance or for fireworks or whatever the case may be, get people's input and see if it's something that the board would want to, change or do something different to accommodate some of these situations and get the public's input.
John, everyone knows, John, I know my friend in the back there, I have severe tinnitus, severe. I used to love watching fireworks. I actually put on when you're doing skeet shooting, those earphones so I could still see them, but I can't hear them. And if it's not that light flash that can trigger some people, which I know, that helped me a lot. I'll tell you.
Yeah, but it's just, and she didn't even point on the fact that even with dogs, you see that.
The dogs go under the,
You know, and the 4th of July, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, people are still shooting off
There's-
fireworks.
well-
You know, I'm just saying, it's a point that maybe the board might want to consider and have a discussion just to get everybody's opinion and input.
Chief, that would be an enforcement nightmare for you. I don't know how you'd like to do that.
That's what I was gonna say.
But, I mean, if they have it and,
What people are doing and, what makes sense to try.
I think 3 or 4 in the morning would be something that I wouldn't want. Past midnight.
So is the board up to have the discussion?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
We'll discuss it at the next meeting, because that's going to have ramifications that we need to discuss. But
Yeah.
you
I'm
can put a
listening to what you're
curfew
saying.
on it. Enforcement is
Trying
going
to
to be
listen
the tough part.
Well, at least it's out there. Gives
Even
you-
if you
Yeah.
can't enforce it.
Good point. Well written, too. Go ahead.
I lived in Hyde Park for so long, I'm sure there's others, that the town used to shoot off fireworks from the anybody else in the valley, right? They would shoot them off, the town would do that. And everyone from the town would come and watch the fireworks. The problem was, there was so much traffic. Yeah. Yeah, the little movie.
Commercial fireworks have got, all of them just got tremendously expensive.
That's not where I had as a kid. It was,
We let the guys come in. And they just, they lose.
Yeah.
I see. Good point. Anything else?
That is all the public comments I've received.
We have a workshop.
Do you want to do the acknowledgement first?
Oh, where's the acknowledgements?
You gotta close the public hearing.
Oh, no, we didn't do public hearing yet.
I mean, close the public comment period.
Is there any other public comments? I just want to make sure.
We're good? All right, may I have a motion to close the
Oh.
public comments?
So moved.
No, I didn't realize.
I didn't do that.
Yeah,
I opened it.
I didn't think we needed a motion second for public comments, or?
That's what it says.
No, this is public hearing. It's a public hearing. I think we could just close the public comments.
Yeah, we don't need a motion for that.
Because these
No.
were just comments on the
That's just
resolutions.
comments, yeah.
Okay,
On town business and resolutions only.
you're good. So, do we have acknowledgements?
Yep, this is the acknowledgements.
Yeah, but what do we have? Oh, we did these already, didn't we?
thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Our first acknowledgement is for Boy Scout Troop 37, in honor of 100 years of service, leadership, and scouting excellence. Founded in 1926, Troop 37 has spent a century shaping young leaders, strengthening the community, and upholding the values of the Scout oath and law. Your unwavering commitment to character, citizenship, and outdoor adventure continues to inspire generations. The town of Hyde Park stands in deep admiration and extends its heartfelt gratitude for your historic achievement.
Sam O'Shea?
He's here.
He's he's accepting for all?
Is this
Okay.
Sam? Is Sam here?
We'll
Hi,
wait
Sam.
for all.
Okay.
We'll read all and then you can come up.
So this is a certificate of achievement for Sam O'Shea in recognition of outstanding dedication, leadership, and commitment to the principles of scouting. Your perseverance, service to others, and embodiment to the Scout oath and law have earned you the highest ranking of scouting.
Eagle Scout.
All right. The third one, final one, is for the Boy Scouts of America Troop 37 Town Memorial. In recognition of your hard work, dedication, and outstanding commitment to the community through the cleaning up, planting of fresh flowers, and mulching of the Hyde Park Town Hall Veterans War Memorial. Your efforts honor the memory of our veterans and demonstrate the true spirit of service, leadership, and civic pride. With sincere appreciation for your distinguished contribution to our community. Thank you.
You can come up and get shots.
He's almost as tall as you, but he's only 12.
I used to be that tall. Okay, may I have a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
For the MS Stormwater Management Program Plan for Speedy's ID number NYR20A246.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. These initials. Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Persikowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye. Will the town clerk please read the notice of the public hearing as it appeared in the newspaper?
Notice of public hearing, Town of Hyde Park. Please take notice that the Town Board of the Town of Hyde Park will hold a public hearing pursuant to the obligations in NYS DEC GP 0-2024-001 for the town to develop, accept comments, and adopt a stormwater management program plan. Project name, Stormwater Management Program Plan for SPDES ID NYR 20A246. 4. The Town of Hyde Park procedures and plans outlining methods for implementation of the municipality's responsibilities under the MS4's general permit. Location, townwide and within high-priority watersheds. Time and date, Monday, July 13th, 2026 at 6 p.m. Place, Hyde Park Town Hall, 4383 Albany Post Road, Hyde Park, New York, 12538. Said town board will, at said time, hear all persons with comments regarding the proposed stormwater management program plan during the public hearing at 4383 Albany Post Road, Hyde Park, New York, 12538, in order of appearance on the agenda. Comments submitted in writing must be received before 3 p.m. on the date of the above hearing and to be addressed to Sarah Holman, Town Clerk, 4383 Albany Post Road, Hyde Park, New York, 12538. All reasonable accommodations will be made for persons with disabilities. In such cases, please notify the Town Clerk in advance so that arrangements can be made. Dated June 16th, 2026, Sarah Holman, Town Clerk.
Sarah, did the town clerk receive any public comments prior to the meeting?
I did not.
Or anybody out there want to explain what all that meant? Oh, you can, I know that.
All right, good evening. So we were at last month's board meeting and we outlined the stormwater management program for the town. This has been an ongoing document that Tad and I have been working on. It's required by the New York State DEC. As we told you, we are an MS4 community. We're the last MS4 community in Dutchess. You are tagged. That's not the right word, but you're an MS4 community based upon your census. And I don't remember what the number is. Do you?
2010 census, and I think at that time it was 20,000. It was so many people within a square mile.
Yeah. So, so we're as far as the last one. We went over, there's 6 minimum control measures that are part of the stormwater management plan. I'm not going to go over them all again, but basically this is a roadmap as to how we're going to implement, the program. There's still a lot more work to do. It's going to be an ever-changing document. Our next step is we are waiting for the Dutchess County Soil and Water Conservation District. They received a grant for both Hyde Park, Pleasant Valley, and LaGrange to go out and map all their stormwater systems. Tad and I are going to be working tomorrow on a potential grant for additional MS4 planning services because we really could use the help of someone, like a firm that has, the time, to put into this. So, so we're going to work on that, tomorrow. So it's basically just like our roadmap. It's going to be changing all the time. But as part of the requirements, the town board in any MS4 is required to adopt a stormwater management plan. So.
You look so sad when you hear about this. That's the email you acknowledged that we should go for the planning other than the mapping, correct? Because the county's doing the mapping.
Yeah, because the mapping, the planning would probably be the retainage of like a consultant to, improve on what we already have, follow through with some things that have yet to be developed that will need to, go in there. So we're going to work on that.
That's a grant we're going for that we'll discuss with the grant writer on Thursday. Just to let you know. There's an advance notice.
So that's the short version.
And Tad's put together a little book for everybody to read.
The long version is what you did last month, right? When you went over everything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
There's the little book to read. Anybody wants.
Part of it.
My next read.
Okay.
Oh, she would love if you want to help her.
It's going up on the website.
Thank you.
No.
Any of the board members, anybody got any questions pertaining to MS4?
No,
No.
thank you for putting all that together. That's a lot of dry work.
Thank you for all your work on that.
I
Okay,
applaud you
thank you.
both on that one. May I have a motion?
No, was there any other public comments?
Any other public comments? Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, who are you? I don't know.
You don't know who she is? Wow.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. That's okay. I've come to more meetings.
Yes, I've been here 26 years.
Oh.
That's Pete.
Now, who are you? I'm sorry.
I'm the engineer for the town.
Thank you.
We're also about 30 years.
I know.
31.
See, you better start hanging around. So if there's no other comments, may I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion.
Who's that?
That was me,
Paul?
yes. Yeah.
May I have a second, please?
Second?
Will the clerk take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prime.
Aye.
Councilman Colmar.
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly.
Aye.
Councilman Triskowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani.
Aye. Okay, we have Steve Weir and Eric Weinstein from the Climate Smart Committee to share in the update on the solar array of the town landfill. Oh,
going to be me today.
Oh, okay. Cross out the other guy.
I have the long version.
Thank you very much.
You have 3 minutes.
Oh, boy. It's not going to sound too good at 3 minutes.
No, I know. I'm like that.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right, my name, is it on? There we go. My name's Steve Ware. I'm a member of the Climate Smart Committee. And I just wanted to give everybody an update on the solar array that we've been working for about 3.5 years to build on the town landfill. It's not a great update. We're not successful, but we're not giving up. So this is the long version, and I'll try to summarize that, quite quickly. But we have been starting at the beginning of 2023. We sent out solicitations, got bids, got a contractor who expressed interest, started working with that contractor. Contractor put down their own money to do site studies and to finally request an interconnect from Central Hudson. So anybody who's trying to build a solar array these days, one of the things you're going to hear everybody complained about is trying to interconnect to Central Hudson. Basically, that means I need to connect it to the big wires and be able to flow power out of the solar array onto the Central Hudson grid. And so a couple of things at the end of 2025 coincided to make the developer basically back out. One was the loss of the federal tax incentives that were changed by federal law last summer, so that made it less profitable for them. The other thing was the interconnect cost that Central Hudson had that gave them a pretty high interconnect cost. So between those two things, the developer has backed out. And we released them from they kind of had, an exclusive agreement with them, with us for that time they were working on it, so they could pursue this. Since then, what we've tried to do in the Climate Smart Committee is, try to figure out where we can go next, right? And so we've contacted NYPA. NYPA is the New York Power Authority. They operate things like the Niagara, the big hydroelectric dam out in Niagara. They now are developing solar farms around the state. So we contacted them. They just basically said, no, we're not interested. Didn't give us really an answer. There's an organization called Municipal Solar Partners that we got hooked up with. They help municipalities develop solar farms. They took a preliminary look at the site for the landfill. Also, we're pessimistic again because of the interconnection. I should probably let me spend 1 minute talking about the interconnection, and which is what the main problem is, right? So. Does everybody have a feel for where the landfill is? It's up on Forest Drive, right? So up there all by itself up on Forest Drive. And we really wanted to do this for the town because it's providing, solar energy that we can, that can be sold out to the community. And B, it's providing a pretty good income for the town on land that is unusable for just about anything else, right? The property connects to Forest Drive, has direct access to Forest Drive. However, Forest Drive has one-phase power, and I had to learn what this stuff was. But basically, there's not enough juice in the line up there to be able to put a 5-megawatt solar farm out on Forest Drive. The lines all the way down Forest Drive and halfway down Cardinal Road, where it attaches, would have to be upgraded. And the cost from Central Hudson was $3 million to do that. And the developer has to pay for that. And Central Hudson has to do the work. So we shifted to try to go, instead of going east, to try to go west. The property does not have frontage on Route 9G, but Route 9G has three-phase power.
So we went to a couple of property owners who were between us and between the landfill and Route 9G. And those property owners were very amenable to, hey, yeah, sure, we'll let you bury a line on here. You know, you'd pay them something for that. We'd work that all out, or the developer would work that out with them. But we never got to the point of actually doing another interconnect study because the developer would have to have paid again for another interconnect study. He didn't want to do that, and the whole thing, that's where it stopped. All right. So everybody we've talked to here, when I start talking of what else we've tried to do to go from there, NYPA, Municipal Solar Partners, other people, they can look at the maps that show the capacity on the various transmission lines for Central Hudson and see the same data that the developer was seeing. And it's not telling a good story. There's not enough capacity on those lines. The lines would have to be upgraded. We know that's a pretty massive cost. All right. We're working with Sustainable Hudson Valley, a group here in the whole Hudson Valley, to try to, with them, to prioritize. They're trying to look at solar farms and municipalities and folks like us doing this throughout the whole Hudson Valley and throughout the whole Central Hudson region. And the idea is to try to consolidate all that, prioritize those things in some fashion that they haven't figured out yet what that would mean, and then try to present to such Central Hudson, here's maybe, where a concentration of these things could be built. Could we do some, line upgrades in that area to allow it to happen? Everything we've been trying, mainly me and Eric, has not been working this spring, and so really it's come down to the Forest Drive interconnect and the 9G interconnect that just aren't going to allow something like the solar farm we want to build to be built. So at our June 17th meeting of the Climate Smart Group, we decided that we would table our further efforts to develop the solar farm until such things as perhaps the federal tax credits will return, perhaps Central Hudson will increase the capacity, or we'll have some kind of communal effort to increase that capacity on the lines on either 9G or Forest Drive, or Central Hudson implements what's known as flexible interconnect. I'll speak about, let me try to get that in 15 seconds. Central Hudson looks at the line capacity and basically says if everything was on at the same time, the worst possible case, that's what that line can hold. The odds that happens are 1 in 10,000. It doesn't happen hardly ever, but Central Hudson has to plan that way. There's a concept called flexible interconnect that says you don't have to do it that way. If the line is half utilized most of the time, we could put a solar farm on that, and if the farm is producing too much electricity for the line to handle, you curtail the output of the farm. You can make Central Hudson with their grid could send a signal and do this. If anybody has solar and batteries at home, which I do, it's exactly the same thing that happens. There's a little smart controller there that turns things on and off. I don't hold a lot of hope that Central Hudson is going to do that on their own, but my understanding is New York State passed a law this year that would require utilities to at least start considering or working on flexible interconnect. Right? The message I wanted to give you was you can read the longer story here, but the shorter story is we're kind of giving up a little bit now, unfortunately, on the solar farm until some conditions change. And as I'm writing this and making the copies, we were contacting a bunch of developers. We've got a good list of solar developers. We're still working with some private landholders here who are interested, and we're trying to provide them the list of developers that we've come up with and some sample request for proposal documents that they could send out. we don't want to really get in the middle of every private landowner, but if we can, enable them or help them with some documents and information, we're going to do that. We're working with one right now. As I was writing this up, one of the developers wrote back to me and said, well, we'd be interested in looking and helping to evaluate some of these properties and seeing, so make another set of eyes. Hopefully, we keep hoping someone will say, oh, yes, I can make money on this, given the current situation. So I'm going to have this one company, do that. The other ideas, I'm throwing these out there because there are things that we could think about, for the future. Are there any other town properties that we may want or be suitable for a solar array? Is there a big garage with a roof? On the roof here, could we do something like that? We could help try to facilitate that. And this other idea that, again, this is very preliminary. I just want the board to, think about this, and we'll talk about it at some point in the future. The idea of modifying zoning to define areas in the town that would be amenable to solar development. So the idea is, and I don't know, we might not even need to modify zoning very much because it's already, you can already do a lot of this here. But the idea would be if we went to Central Hudson and said, here's an area on the map where we, the town, and the citizens in the town kind of all agree through the zoning process that we've designated, this area as areas we'd like to develop. It allows us to go to Central Hudson and kind of focus them on, let's maybe we can share costs. Maybe there's 2 or 3 solar developments that could happen in that area. Those solar developments could share costs rather than, the way it works now is the first person who gets there, right? So this poor developer on the landfill. There's another one, the Jones sanitation site that's not very far away that we'd like to think about. Maybe, we could develop a landfill on that. But the first person in there on the town landfill, they would pay for the entire line upgrades. And if another developer came in that was using something that would now take advantage of that, they don't have to pay anything. So, and that's just the way Central Hudson works. So maybe we could. The idea is if we designate a corridor or area of the town that everybody agrees this is something we'd like to, focus solar development there, we could maybe do some of these, economies of scale. So that's something I just wanted to leave with you to think about. I know that was fast. That was a lot.
We'll designate the landfill.
What's that?
We'll rezone the landfill or whatever you need. That one we wanted that.
Yeah.
So how did, was it Kingston that did it, or Saugerties? Where did they do a solar farm on a landfill with the slope?
Yeah, I came from Saugerties. Saugerties had a solar farm in a landfill. There's several. I mean, if you look around, there's several solar farms on landfill.
How'd they get it?
Yeah.
They were closer to the feed?
It's not the landfill that's the problem. I mean, the people that develop, there are special considerations of the landfill. You can't puncture the cap and do all this, but they know how to build, on top of that. The whole issue is getting the interconnection to Central Hudson and doing that for something that's not going to cost a fortune to the developer.
How much land do you need, approximately?
Well, the landfill was about 10 acres, and I think there was maybe 6 or 7 that were cleared already. And so that was going to be around a little under 5 megawatts they were going to develop. And most of the developers I've spoken to, that they're very happy with that. These aren't huge companies. These are small local companies. 3 to 5 megawatts is good for them. This private property that I'm talking about is 30 acres, so that would be significantly more. But
that's the same situation. You don't have 3-phase there. So ideally, you're looking for parcels that have 3-phase in close proximity.
I have 3-phase and also capacity on the lines, which is something we have a tool we can look up in Central Hudson for that. But the idea is obviously the larger, right? If I have a 5-acre plot that's let's say, coming up with 5 megawatts. I have a 30-acre plot. That's 30 megawatts. That's a whole lot more power that they can sell. That changes the economics so that maybe the interconnect cost is doable in that case.
Is the developer that paid the $25,000 for the interconnection or the array study, is that transferable?
No.
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 So even if we found somebody,
Another 25.
yeah. So if we found somebody to
Yeah.
take that location, they got to throw another 25,000.
Well, let me try to answer. So transferable, if there was someone else who wanted to develop the landfill
That's what I'm
and use
asking.
the same route to interconnect, then that study
Well, that was the
exists.
closest route, so
Yeah.
of course they would want to use that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, refresh my memory, didn't we send you a list of all the town-owned properties? I know a while back, Richard Maddox gave us a whole list of the town properties and what's there and what's vacant, and I can send that to you
We may,
again.
and maybe it got
No, we send that
lost
to
in
you
the
again.
sauce
We do
somewhere.
have a lot of unusable
Yeah.
land that maybe something might be attractive to you.
I mean, I have I got into the Central Hudson tool, and I can do these quick evaluations on these things.
All right,
So, I mean,
I'll
I can-
resend it to you.
Yeah, that'd be great.
You mentioned one of the things that would have us revisit this is if there was federal funding. Is there additional state funding to like upgrade the internet?
It's not really federal funding. It's a tax credit for developers that was passed in the previous administration that the current administration did away with. So there isn't any state funding that I'm aware of. But that was, and that federal funding or the tax credit was 25 or 30% from what I understand. So it's a big hunk of change.
Oh, boy.
Very briefly,
Yeah.
Mr. Weir, if I may, I actually started working on this study with Richard Maddox when he was here. I even toured the site with our town engineer, Pete Sotero, and I went out and looked at the site out there. One of the other things that the town had explored was battery storage, and when we started looking into that, we learned that if you build these big parcels with battery storage, that the savings doesn't go directly to the town of Hyde Park. It gets transferred back into the grid as a whole. In order for that to be more effective, every town along that line would have to participate. My question to you is it the same with solar panels? In other words, if we did have the solar field there, would the residents of Hyde Park right away feel those benefits in cost and reduction, or would that be sold back to the Central Hudson grid?
Yeah, we never got far enough along with the developer to really talk about what are you going to do with the power,
Right.
They were kind of the builder and finance of the operation, and the next step is, okay, what are you going to, are you just going to take the power and sell it to Central Hudson? Are we going to maybe offer community solar and do that for the residents? We never got to the point of talking, to the town. Do you want to have a power purchase agreement with the town? Maybe the town gets cheap electricity, so all those options would be on the table.
I knew
We
the
just never
town was
got-
going to benefit from the land lease.
What's that?
The town would have benefited
Yeah,
from the
town-
land lease.
yeah,
So at
basically,
the very bottom, the
benefit
town would have
was-
benefited.
Right, the town owns the land, they lease the land to the developer, and they get a lease payment.
And some of the basic questions that I have from town residents when I'm approached to ask how those are going on is, the first thing is, who produces the solar panels? If they come from more than one company. Do you know who produces the solar panels?
I don't know what, each developer wants to use.
Okay, so they could come from different manufacturers.
come from different
The
places.
second question is, do you know the average life of the solar panels? How often they have to be replaced?
I think the lifespan of these developments is something like 25 years.
Okay. And then the third
Yeah.
question is the contractor or whoever owns the solar panels, are they responsible for the disposal of the
Yeah.
old solar panels? And is there usually a plan that's presented to the board that we can present to the residents of Hyde Park to let them know that those panels are being disposed of in an environmental way?
Yeah, so a couple ways to answer that. There is a decommissioning plan that's usually part of the contract we as the town would enter into with the developer. Again, we never even got that far to talk about a contract. We had simply just gave them, yeah, you bid on this, you gave us a bid, it sounded good. We gave them the permission to continue exploring, continue exploring it, and we never got to the point where we're ready to actually come up with a contract and do that. The private landholders that I'm talking about, that's one of the things I'm creating for them is a sample, RFP document, a request for proposal. And one of the things we asked for from the developer is their whole decommissioning plan, right? So that's a standard part of any of these, especially on the landfill where you've got kind of a sensitive area there that needs to be taken care of.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
We had a, where my shop is located down on 130 Salt Point Turnpike. Beef Electric and the gang are all tenants of a huge building, and Michael Burtis owns the building. He spent last year over $1 million putting solar panels on his roof, and that last storm that we had that snapped the poles over next to St. Peter's Cemetery, the wind got underneath them and took all the panels and portions of the roof and blew it right off. And he's got like extensive damage, so it's that didn't work out too good.
Yeah.
Yeah, very sad.
But they're mounted differently to the ground than a roof.
Well, in the landfill, a typical ground mount array would be, foundations and steel frames, and then the panels are put on it. On the landfill, they can't penetrate any of the caps, so they basically make these big, huge concrete blocks that float there, and then all your steel infrastructure and the panels are put on that. I will say I put solar on my house, and I live on River Road, and I get fantastic wind. I mean, the furniture flies off the deck and everything. And we asked our developer about that like 5 times. Yeah. This is going to, and he says, well, they're supposedly rated for 70, 80 mile an hour winds and stuff like this. So who knows? Yeah.
Well, there was 80 mile an hour gusts.
Yeah.
It took the roof off.
All right, well, let's keep chugging away. Let's try to find some.
We're gonna keep trying to make it work.
And we'll get you the list of all the properties that we have. Ship it back off to you and see if any of them have any potential thereof.
Good.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Weir.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Is this where he wants to read or is that going to be on the legislative aid stuff? This day? No, is John going to read that? I think he's going to read it. Okay. Okay. You still there? Okay, Mark, you're up.
Resolution 713-1 of 2026, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve vacation carryover for the Town of Hyde Park payroll clerk, Megan Cardinal.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowsky?
Aye.
And Supervisor Trogiani?
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 713-2 of 2026, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to adopt the Town of Hyde Park MS4 Stormwater Management Program Plan.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay, will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowsky?
Aye.
And Supervisor Trogiani?
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 713-3 of 2026, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to authorize Kyle W. Barnett, ESQ of the law firm Vanderwater and Vanderwater, LLP, to negotiate a settlement for the tax certiorari proceedings filed against the Town of Hyde Park by North Cross LLC.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 713-4 of 2026, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to update and amend the Town of Hyde Park procurement policy for 2026.
Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 713-5 of 2025, a resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Clerk to submit the standard workday and reporting resolution for 2026 as required by the New York State Comptroller in accordance with the New York State Retirement System's requirements.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 713-6 of 2026, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve the purchase of a replacement vehicle and any necessary equipment for said vehicle for the Town of Hyde Park Police Department fleet.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 713-7 of 2026, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve requests from the Culinary Institute of America to conduct a fireworks display on Monday, September 7th, 2026 in the Town of Hyde Park.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 713-8 of 2026, resolution acknowledging the donation of $200 from Hyde Park Council 6111 Knights of Columbus and a $1,500 from Rhinebeck Bank for the Town of Hyde Park Recreation Department's 2026 Music in the Park Series.
Yeah, may I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 713-9 of 2026, a resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park to approve Nunc Pro Tunc, the Hyde Park Zoning Board of Appeals Vice Chair Board Member Richard Perkins, to attend the Dutchess County Plan and Federation training in an introduction and public meeting and hearing held at the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development on June 2nd, 2026 in Poughkeepsie, New York.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 713-10 of 2026, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve the submission of the Highway Safety Improvement Grant Program application and approval of the local match, of local match contribution.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye. Motion carried.
Resolution 713-11 of 2026, a resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to approve the submission of the 2026-2027 Smart Growth Community Planning Grant Program application and approval of local match contribution.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine?
Aye.
Councilman Komar?
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly?
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowski?
Aye.
And Supervisor Torgiani?
Aye. Motion carried. Don?
I
Number
acknowledge
12?
We're tabling, are we tabling 12?
Tabling 12.
Noted.
So I'll move on to resolutions 713-13 of 2026, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to appoint Lisa Hartley, Esquire, as backup special prosecutor.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine.
Aye.
Councilman Komar.
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly.
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Targiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Added at the dais, 713-14 of 2026, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to accept the 2026 Veterans Micro Grant Program Grant Award for the Dutchess County Legislator and Dutchess County Veterans Affairs.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine.
Aye.
Councilman Komar.
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly.
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Targiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Resolution 713-15 of 2026, resolution authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to authorize the town supervisor to execute a stormwater management facility inspection and maintenance easement agreement with Hyde Park Investors LLC, rent a space self-storage. I just have a quick question.
Go ahead.
What is this exactly?
Wait a minute, this is 713.
This is 15.
50.
Oh,
15.
sorry, 715.
I just want to make sure I know what it is. Sorry.
That's
not
all
put
right.
you on the spot.
No, it's okay. So that's all 713.
Do you want?
Thanks.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, okay. So this is the rent-a-space self-storage is a project that was approved by the planning board. And what they need is a stormwater management facility inspection and easement agreement. This allows, they're responsible for the creation of a stormwater management facility. This allows the town, in the event it's necessary, to get on the premises and also make sure that they provide, the facility that provide for the facility to run like it should be running.
This is pretty standard.
It's a maintenance, yeah, it's a maintenance easement.
So, and if they don't do it, then the town has the authority to go in and enforce it.
Okay.
At the cost of the developer.
Develop.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Second,
and
please.
I put in there, in the agreement, because I made significant changes to that agreement, I put in there indemnification, I put in there also attorney's fees, I put in there stuff that even hasn't been used in our former samples from years back, just to strengthen the town's position on that going forward.
Awesome. Thank you.
Second, please.
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman Prine.
Aye.
Councilman Komar.
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly.
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Targiani.
Aye, motion carried.
Added at the dais, Resolution 713-16 of 2026, resolution rescinding Resolution 626-2 of 2026, authorizing the Town of Hyde Park Town Board to appoint Rigoberto Alves as a full-time groundskeeper cleaner for the Town of Hyde Park Recreation Department.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Will the clerk please take the roll call vote?
Councilman,
I'm sorry. Just to clarify, he just didn't show for work, correct?
No, he never showed up after the initial, we told him he had the job.
Oh, okay.
Never came back.
All right. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, it's okay. Councilman Prine.
Aye.
Councilman Komar.
Aye.
Councilman Donnelly.
Aye.
Councilman Prisakowski.
Aye.
And Supervisor Targiani.
Aye, motion carried.
No. Sorry, my head was in something that I was looking up from before, so you just called me off guard, but once I saw it, it was fine.
Okay, per ward, any board members have any updates they'd like to bring up?
Just that Ray Davies, you continue working on the Mulford Avenue, right, in Statsburg and Mills Cross Road. Just be mindful driving. Please don't speed over there. Getting some complaints, but slow down. And that's all I got for right now.
Thank you. Greg?
Just for anyone that's listening or watching from home, if you have, continued issues with the storm and need support or assistance, please reach out.
Paul?
Yeah, well, speaking on the storm, I just want to say thanks to John and Ray. my neighborhood and a lot of parts of Ward 3 got hit really hard with a lot of downed trees, no electricity, internet. I know I just got my internet back on Friday. So thanks, John, for continuously keeping me informed about the conditions in Ward 3 and the status of the downed trees and the electric companies. And Ray, I saw you driving around Ward 3 all throughout the day, and you guys are working overtime. So I want to say thank you so much for all the work that you and your crew do. I really appreciate it. As the Hyde Park Police Liaison, I just want to say that I spoke with Chief Benson, and the Hyde Park Police Department is still looking for a full-time officer dedicated solely to traffic enforcement. All right. And additionally, we spoke about trying to place that decoy car in different places in Ward 3 that have problematic issues with the speeding, specifically in West Dorsey, so in East Dorsey. So we're looking at a couple neighbors that want to keep the cars on their property. So I'll be following up with you on some of the conversation I had this week. That's all.
Don?
Ward 4 is quiet, but for the entire town, the next Music in the Parks will be 7:15 at Mills Mansion, for anybody who's interested in that. And then after that, we have the 22nd, the 29th, 8/5, and 8/12.
Thank you. John, you're going to read some updates on acknowledgements for the storm that did hit?
Yes.
I'd just like to let everybody know one other thing, that the county, under Sue Serino, and all of the county's mayors, supervisors had meetings 3 times a day, and it was to discuss and getting information from Ray, from John, everybody driving around, which roads were down, Paul, anyone that called us and told us the dangerous areas, basically. So everyone had their inputs. We know Pauling got slaughtered. There was they were going for like emergency locations first and items like that, and they did a great job putting that together. And John wants to take that a little further. Go ahead.
All right, so during the storm, we were out evaluating and talking to the county about what was going on. I know up on Dutchess Hill, up in Kim, Kelly, Christie, all up through there, the wind or the mini tornado hit and snapped a bunch of trees off. That was a real bad section that got hit tremendously hard, and they had to restore a lot of the transformers and wires. I know that down in Paul's neighborhood, down in the Greenbush, Yates, down all behind Dunkin' Donuts, the little storm must have hit down there, wiped out a bunch of trees and wires. Everybody was out of power for a considerable long time. I can honestly say that, the fire department, the police department, everybody in the emergency response did a phenomenal job. I got to say that after riding around and evaluating the roads and taking a look at what's going on, that in my personal opinion, and I don't care what Central Hudson says, the first 10 or 12 hours, we didn't see anybody. There was no trucks, there was no vans, there was nothing out, and it was pretty disappointing because after you get that 12-hour period, people start wanting to know, and our phones are blowing up, and Central Hudson gives us an update that they're going to have dry ice at Home Depot down in Poughkeepsie, and we send a lot of people down there, and half the people didn't even get in line, and they were out of dry ice already. So that Central Hudson ought to be ashamed of themselves. I got to honestly tell you that last year we had the same situation, and I know a lot of people are on vacation. I know a lot of people are away, took off that day, but there was a lot of wasted time in the time that they really got boots on the ground. A lot of seniors, a lot of people that needed air conditioning and electric or dry ice to stay afloat, they really didn't do a great job. But amongst that, Ray Davis, the highway crews were out. Sue Serino gave us updates. I was on the phone continuously. The police department, our tree crews were out. The fire departments helped us clear trees off the roads to keep the roads passable so we can get emergency vehicles in. And all the other crews that came in from the outer areas to assist us, they did a phenomenal job. The next thing I'd like to talk about is, and it's somewhat of a sore subject, so I wanted to bring it up tonight. We need to discuss the finances of the road. Ray's proposing to start doing the pavement on the roads of the 20th through the 23rd. And I don't know if the board members are aware, we have not passed any resolution to get these finances in place, to agree on a number. And I asked Ray can come up to the mic and basically tell you the roads that he's doing and figure out what we're doing or how we're going about that, because prior to any paving, we need town board approval, or we need to know what finances are going to be applied and where they're coming from. So if Ray, if you can come up and give us a quick synopsis of what roads you're prepping or preparing, and then the board members will be up to speed, please.
Good evening. The roads that we have prepared and ready to go, we're starting on Mills Cross Road, doing the rest of it that the previous highway superintendent started last year, and I'm continuing to do the entire road of Mills Cross Road. The next one would be Mulford Avenue, Hughes Avenue, Baker Street, East Elm Avenue, and Cedar Street. That's the 6 roads that are all prepped, ready to go for blacktopping.
Okay, Ray, can you give us the new cost on what that cost?
I don't have that in front of me today because, tonight I don't have it in front of me. It's on my desk. I just received it before I went home this evening. The contractor, the low bidder on the contractor is still Peckham Materials. He still came in lower than the other 3. He had to resubmit because due to my neglect, I did not see that he did not put in there the oil that has to go down first for the blacktopping, for the blacktop to adhere to. I have since received that, and I went to give the comptroller a copy of that today, but he wasn't in his office when I called. He had left for today, apparently. So I'll give that to him first thing in the morning.
So is this for borrowing? Is that why we need?
No, we have about, I don't, off the top of my head, I believe the CHIPS money that we have is
530,000.
539,000. So when they did the list, and I just got it Friday myself, when we did the list and went over it, I went over and measured the roads. The first thing was Peckham was at $527,605. I think the next bidder was about $150,000 higher.
Correct.
So that kind of generated a red flag that we're
Something's
doing
wrong.
3.1, 3.2 miles of road where they got to be fairly close. The profit margin usually isn't that high. So we questioned that. And like Ray said, we didn't have the tack coat. And the tack coat is, after all these roads, they're going to put a truing leveling course to take care of all the roughness, which is about an inch or so. Level the road out, roll it, get it all situated, and then put a tack coat, and then put a 1.5 inch top compacted thickness on the top to make the road smooth. The tack coat is very important because if you don't put that asphalt tack coat down, then the overlay doesn't stick and it breaks up. The problem that we have is like I say, we only have 500 some thousand in chips, so anything above and beyond that cost comes out of our pocket. And right now, it's still a moving target to get all the numbers. So with the tar and the tack coat and the recorrection of some of the measurements on the road, I think we're 150 or 180,000 plus dollars that we need to get from somewhere. So we all got to be on the same page to know what we're doing, what roads we're going to do. If we're going to take a road or two off the list, we need to get that defined before we can proceed.
We're working on a budget to try to replenish your highway equipment, right? Equipment budget? Is it the equipment budget?
Yeah, so
we need $70,000 or so to replace.
Another problem that we got with the highway department is that the stuff that's out to get fixed, the equipment that's out to get fixed, we have a line item that's depleted at the present time. It's back to zero. So we need to get funds and figure out what we're going to fix in the near future, what major projects we got coming up, and what that cost is, and we need to put money in that line item also.
Our
So-
suggestion will be to eliminate elm and cedar. That would probably put us within budget.
Before you do that, I do know that I did the calculations before I left from work, and it wasn't 100, it was $90,000 over and above the CHIPS money. That's to do the 6 roads, it was 90,000.
But we still have
after
to come up with
recalculating.
over 70,000 to replenish your other budget.
I'm sorry?
Where you're
I
sending
can't,
things
speaking of
out.
Mike, Al, we can't hear you.
We still have to come up with over $70,000 to replace other budgets that you've gone over on. So it's, in order to get closer to what we were hoping for, was the CHIPS money, and then maybe, well, first it was another 18,000. We thought it was great he came in at that number, but we obviously knew something's out. And I think he's 100 and somewhat thousand more now than he was before. So,
Yeah, I don't,
How many miles, all the roads that you named off, how many miles does that total up?
3.1. And
Unless you try to do
previous
per-
administration said was doing it 3 miles of roads a year.
that was before the costs were where they are right now.
But
And you
cost of oil
got,
has
we
gone
have
up.
budget
Yeah.
problems on the other end of the coin that we have to resolve. So that's what we're kind of bringing you up to speed on.
Ray, doesn't our staff handle maintenance on our vehicles? I was just wondering why.
They're sending it out to be
The
repaired.
problem with the maintenance on the vehicles, it's not like you're doing your car. Truck parts have gone through the roof. And I've already talked to Jim about it. To try to get 3 quotes on a truck every time, you're keeping the truck off the road for a good month and a half for any major repair, because the one department has to look at it, give me a bid on, an estimate on the price. They have to put it back and get it out of their shop so I can take it to the next one to get the estimate. And the same one with that one to get the third one to estimate, because all the estimates are $2,500 or above on a lot of truck repairs.
But Ray, we're
And
still,
that takes the
we're
truck
still
off the
paying
road
2
for a good month and a
mechanics
half
at the
to 2
same
months.
time, though.
I'm
This is
sorry?
what people were complaining about, procurement, and being transparent about it. You're going ahead and doing things, and we have to discuss the procurement policy, and then you're seeing bids come in. That's a red flag. We know it's going up. We know what you're doing, but we're still paying 2 mechanics at the same time as we're sending them out. So it's like you're spending this money. We have all this equipment to do the work. We understand everything's costing more as far as, parts, but we're sending stuff out. I understand you may think it takes longer, but right now, we're repairing vehicles that we're auctioning off. So that's our problem, is why are we spending this money and still having 2 mechanics? What are they doing?
We were repairing the trucks, like you just said, we were auctioning off because the 4 trucks that have been ordered since 2023 and 2024 weren't in. I had to keep those trucks running on the road.
Right.
Now they just started to come in. I just got the first 2 trucks 2 months ago, but they didn't come in with the stainless steel wheels, and they've been sitting in my shop for 6 weeks, waiting for those stainless steel wheels for the company to come in and put on, so I can start using the trucks. Excuse me, they're all registered for the road, ready to go, but I can't use them because of the stainless steel wheels. I got one back. The other one's been sitting down at the international dealer now for 2 weeks, waiting for the second set of aluminum wheels to come in.
Aren't they predominantly for plowing at this point?
no, we use them year round. The whole main
Yes.
objective was,
But they came with wheels.
the
They
whole.
just didn't come with
I
the right
I didn't know
wheels.
about the stainless steel wheels, maybe we gotta communicate a
But
little
they
better.
had wheels.
Well,
I would have told them I'm using these wheels.
well, the case may be, why do we accept these trucks, if that's the case, if we can't use them? We're making payments, we paid for them 2 trucks already. We should have probably took possession of them till they came in the way we want them, so they're ready to go to work. We could talk about that, figure out how that works on the next 2, but.
But you got to understand that. And then also, we have to, we would have to get a resolution to approve the money to spend on the roads, as well as the resolution to approve increasing what we've spent on sending trucks out and all that stuff, and not having our guys doing it, which I really like to know what they're doing in there. You got the highway, what is he, the union rep is the mechanic, one of the mechanics, highest paid guy in there. And we're still paying him, we're still paying another mechanic, we still have equipment, plenty of equipment we bought, over the years, and we're sending stuff out, but we're still paying those guys. So to me, it doesn't add up. It's exactly what people were talking about tonight, about us doing that, and that's why I said to the one, wait until you hear this one. But that's following the procurement policy. You're not following it either. You were just telling, you're gonna start the roads. You can't start the roads unless we approve it. The funds too. I'm just saying.
Ray, how long is each of the 6 roads that you mentioned?
I'm sorry? 1 miles.
No, that's the total, but what's, like, how long is Cedar Street? Do you know?
So we got Mill Cross Road. Mill Cross Road, Howie started with Mills Cross Road. So Ray is picking up where Howie left off. So it's 8,142 feet long. And this is where one of the errors are. Howie did it at 22 feet wide, and we got it at 20 feet wide now. When I went out and measured it Sunday, it's my personal opinion that we should be at 24 feet wide, because that side of Mills Road is a lot more windier. Our catch basins are set back off the road a little bit more, and if we pave only 20 feet, I don't think the water is going to get to where it needs to go. It's going to miss the catch basins and sheathe, and we're going to have an ice condition. So I think we have to probably take a look at that.
And the new estimate, the new estimate is now 24.
Yeah, 24. So Milford Avenue is 2,585 linear feet long, and it's at 22 feet wide. And 22 foot wide is the proper width. We have Hughes. Hughes Avenue is 1,375 feet long, and we have that at 24 feet, which we want to probably keep that at 24 feet. We got Baker Street, which is 555 feet, and it's the original dimensions were at 21, and I think we need to be at 23 to 24 because the existing pavement is at 23. East Elm is 1,980 linear feet long. That's at 18 feet wide, and I think the narrowest points that are existing right now are at 20. We go as wide as 23 feet, so we would have to add additional pavement for that. And then Cedar Street is 975 feet at 16 feet wide, and we want to keep the 975 at 16 feet wide. So by going a couple feet wider on a lot of these roads that are 8,000 feet long, it's a lot more blacktop and a lot more expense.
Right, and if we went with the $529,000 bid, okay, and they started doing it without the tack coat, and we found out they needed the tack coat, which is $65,000 taxpayer dollars we'd have to pay, and then, another 60-something tons of blacktop in itself, we would have been getting hit with $200 and some odd thousand without the procurement policy being followed either. And that puts us in a bad place, and then there's some people that would hear that, and then it's wrong. It's just wrong. We need to take out some roads, meet the budget, and then replenish your other equipment that you need or your other parts, and then work something out with these mechanics and, do what we got to do on that end. But this has to be a resolution coming to us, and it didn't come to us, and all we found, I come back and I'm finding out we're paving. I go, wait a minute, what are we paving? Did they measure it? I asked you, did they measure it?
Yes.
You
with
said
a
they
GPS.
did, but they never measured the width.
Yeah, I
That's the problem.
I think moving forward, we have to go out and actually put boots on the ground like I did Sunday. I spent
Well, yeah.
2.5 hours with a
Well,
wheel and measuring.
you could drone it. You could do the whole thing with a drone.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a drone, and I was trying to just trying to figure out how we could do.
Well, we do that.
But the whole question is, we need, or the town board needs to decide, and I don't know if you want to have Jim send you guys a memo tomorrow. We have to come up with some funds to get our repair budget. We got to do something there because I need the trucks repaired, And then above and beyond it, we need to know the true numbers of what it's gonna cost, based on, you got 500-some thousand for chips, how much we can spare to pave these roads, but I think it's
If we
gonna-
didn't blow the other budget, it would, throwing some money in is fine, but not throwing $200,000 in.
Yeah, I don't, that's the town, that's a town board decision.
You'll see the emails, respond to them, because that's what we gotta do. We have to do this. It can't just happen. I know we don't wanna hold them up, but we gotta know the money. You're gonna have to
Yeah,
give up a couple of roads.
Yeah.
Mills you have to do.
Well, unfortunately, he's got a lot of them that the catch basins are projected to accommodate that 2 inches of new blacktop already.
I know.
So, I mean,
But
if
it's
we,
not all- it
if
can't
we
all-
do, if we do get a limit, if we do not pave them roads, we're gonna have to.
What's the little dead end down in, what is it, Statsburg? What's that?
Cedar?
Is that Cedar?
Is that
Just
Cedar?
2 houses in the back, the rest of the people are gonna be like, why are you doing that?
No, I know, but I mean, the catch basins are projecting 2 inches higher, so if we take a road off or 2 roads off, we are gonna have to go in there and make some type of
Yeah, feather 'em.
provisions to pave around them so that there's no hazard or the snow plowing and hitting it in the dead of
Right.
winter. So I don't know what the town board wants to do, but we need direction, because right now we're talking about the 20th having paving, and we don't have any firm numbers of what it's gonna cost, so.
So if Elm is 2,000 feet by 18 roughly, if we,
If we cut the other two out, we'll see.
we have to cut both, we can't just cut one?
No, we can get a couple. We're gonna have to-
Yeah, I think Elm, the cost without the tack coat for that road was about 63,000.
So now you
Cedar
have
was
the tack,
about
yeah.
27,000. And if you took both of them roads out, you're only talking 90 Gs, and I think between the tack coat and the extra pavement, we're gonna be 90,000 or more that we're gonna have to still dish out of our general fund or wherever it's gonna come
But then
from,
we still
if we have
to
the funds.
replenish his parts and all that money.
How much does it need?
John, has the controller
How much is that?
responded to that? Do we have those?
Well, evidently, I was just made aware of this initial bid that came in on the June 17th. Jim's the one that gave me this last Thursday.
That's when I gave it to him, yes.
Yeah, so last Thursday, Ray gave it to the controller, and then we looked at it and said, no, we're missing this, the numbers don't jive. He gave them all the proposals. But, I mean, the number spread is way too far. We got to zero in here.
I know Peckham wants to get back in, but
Yeah.
they're gonna own us if we took it. So, anyway,
So how would you guys like to proceed? That's the question.
Can we get the numbers from Jim?
We're gonna-
And
we're gonna share the
big
numbers with them.
Like all the numbers for each of the roads.
on email.
We get the monthly spreadsheet for the highway department funds, but just resend that so I have it. I think we start there just to get,
Yes.
so we can visualize it.
And we'll show you about what the other budget that
Yep.
we have to replenish now.
Yep.
So just to be on the same page, we have 2 trucks of the 4. We're supposed to take possession of the other 2 trucks
August.
when?
September.
September.
August, September.
So our vision, or Howie, when we first planned this out, initially before Ray got involved, is when these other 2 trucks come in, we have 2 or 3 of them that are 15 or 18 years old. They're junk. They're the ones that we're going to auction off. They have no value to us. Okay.
So the first 2 trucks that we got had the wrong types of wheels.
Correct.
Can we preempt the next 2 coming and make sure that they arrive with the right type of wheels if we haven't already done that?
I'll be notified when they do come into, excuse me, Emperor's across the river. That's where they come into, and I have to go over and make the inspection, and trust me, they won't be in Hyde Park, and until they're complete.
And what was wrong with the wheels, Ray? I wasn't.
They're white.
They were steel wheels, they weren't aluminum wheels.
And we ordered aluminum?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I quoted.
But see, I'd make them, I'm using the trucks until you give me the.
No, I know. If we all knew that, somewhere along the way, we should have called, because we pay for them trucks when they got delivered, and, if they're sitting there and we're not using them, or.
No, we should be using them. I don't
No.
care.
Okay,
They eat the money, not us.
okay. All right, well, it comes down to, we'll work the numbers out, we'll get it shipped over to everybody, and then we can make a educated decision on how much we're gonna spend and
We'll do
what
it
we're gonna do.
But are we going to end up in a situation where they're going to send the next trucks with the wrong wheels?
No,
They're
no,
gonna
he's
sit there?
he's gonna
I
inspect them.
understand.
If they don't have them, we're declining
Right,
delivery of them.
I get that, but we want them, right?
Huh?
So we want them.
No, well, I don't,
yeah.
listen, I don't want them and have the truck sitting and we're paying for them.
No, we're gonna use them even if they do deliver them with the wrong wheels
Well,
again.
he's gonna have to work that out with
That's
Amthor's.
not hard.
No, no, but.
We can work it out on our own.
No,
We'll
no,
pay
I know,
for the
but
second.
Ray knows, now that he knows, he's gonna say,
But the question is, whoever's making them, do we need to reach out to them and let them know that
Yes.
they? Okay,
Yeah.
that's really the question. That way,
I
they
think
don't.
he's made
Right,
that
they're
point
aware of
clear.
it, right, Ray?
The specifications that they bid on, it states right in there, aluminum wheels on them
Yeah.
at the time of order. I
Yeah.
verified that, it's on it.
I'm not questioning that the order was right. Whoever's building the truck, whatever they're doing with the truck, do we need to reach out to them now as opposed to when they send it to us and try to make sure that they have the right wheels so that when we get them, we're not having to then tell them no at that point?
He's Todd from Amthor's know that we're anticipating the stainless steel on this, on the side?
does.
That was the question.
Okay.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay, so they're aware of it. They're aware of it. All right, so, one other thing, so with all this being said, I mean, we had a bad winter. We went through a lot of salt.
And you didn't get the trucks when we were supposed to.
We didn't get the trucks when we went to, it's not all Ray's fault, but above and beyond it, Ray's got to understand that we got to start, we need the numbers, the board's got to approve it. Ray's got to understand that, you know, I think that over there, and maybe I can go over and give him some assistance, we got to start running that department like it's a construction company, or it's you know, we got to follow it a little bit and track it a little bit and follow these costs, because we can't have these line items be depleted, because I only have a contingency budget for the highway department. I think I only got 15 or 20,000 in it.
Right.
And there's nothing else with the trees and the storms that we had. There's nowhere else that I could pull it without coming back to ask the town board for more money. So, I mean, I know it's a sore subject, but we got to figure something out.
Well, you know the answer to that right now.
All right, that's all I got. Ray, you have anything else on that?
No.
You guys been doing a good job on the tree cleanup. I know that they've been
All that.
working a lot of
No
overtime.
complaints there.
Thank you, Ray.
Yep. A couple other quick things. There's a meeting with the EMS and from the medical services for the ambulances and everything like that. Wednesday, this Wednesday, June 15th, July 15th at the Wallace Center. The doors open at 6 o'clock and the meeting's at 6:30. If you spread the word, this is for ambulance and medical attention and services throughout the district. They're going to lay out what the expense is, what's going on with that, so that's going to be a very important information meeting that a lot of people should attend.
John, I think we got 2 different vendor bids on that so far, if I'm not mistaken? Just the
Northern
one?
Park.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they'll go over that. Kyle, I'd like to have you take a minute and give us an update on for the poor people down at Enderkill, the Macho subdivision, what your findings were, where we're at to date.
I'm happy to. So we've been negotiating a settlement. It is complicated. Pete here has been instrumental in helping us get this across the finish line. And I think for the most part, we have an agreement in principle, so I'm very optimistic, which I haven't been for quite some time. I was concerned this was going to be a litigated matter, which doesn't really help anybody. But we're pretty much, just at this particular point in time, just working out some of the details of the settlement agreement. But in terms of the scope of the work, when it's going to get done, what needs to get done, and so forth, we've pretty much worked it all out.
All right, and are you anticipating that road's going to be paved before the winter?
I anticipate that we'll have an agreement. I anticipate.
Sorry, you want to say it.
I anticipate we'll have an agreement in time for that to happen. But I'm not going to make a guarantee that people do what they are supposed to be doing. But
Okay.
I can at least tell you that my expectation is we ought to have this agreement pretty much wrapped up by the end of the month.
Okay.
Then we have enough time.
All right. So whether everyone does what they're supposed to, that's on everyone.
Yep. And then the last thing I have is, I thank everybody coming out for the July 4th parade. I think I mean, I know it was extremely hot, and a lot of people had heat exhaustion, but, I mean, the people that came out, the town board, I thank you all for coming out and marching, and all the organizations, Brandel's and DNS and all the Boy Scouts and the whole gang. They did a phenomenal job. I think the parade was a success. I also want to thank the Neshuwats for letting us use the drive-in property over there that they obtained a lease on over there now for us to do the setup and to start the parade off there. Everybody did a phenomenal job, so I'd like to thank everybody. That's all I got.
I'd like to extend a thank you to the supervisor for providing the candy treats for all the kids this year. Thank you, Al and John. I'd like to thank you for the use of your truck. You're able to bring out water and carry all that stuff on there and refill the buckets. I think it was a wonderful day for the kids out there on the celebration. Thank you.
Plenty of dog biscuits.
And the dog biscuits. Thank you very much.
Can I add one thing? I'm sorry about time. But
Okay.
I think on Wednesday, there's a information session about ambulance costs.
That's what I
And-
just went over. That's at the Wallace, the Wallace Center.
That's what happened, see that?
Greg, that's the one that's at the
Right,
Wallace Center.
it's like this.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, if there's nothing else, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting adjourned.